Okay. So we see that price, hang on, Zoom is acting crazy over here. Okay. So we see price here is consolidating. But what's the one positive thing about this? If you had to pick one positive thing, what do you think it is? Anybody?
To me, it's a demand box.
Okay. I like the way you think it.
It looks like a flat bottom candle, actually.
That's it. So why did I ring the bell on this and not the demand box? Well, because this signals the fact that this could be the start of an upward trend. Even though him small, but he could be starting something here.
I got a question on the fact that it's so small.
Mm-hmm.
The volume, looking down at the chart below, the volume looks like there's a lot of volume, but the candle is so small.
Okay,
Can you
so
can you
look
tell
at the
me why?
histogram again. And where's the volume pointing to?
Um, it just turned to go back up to the midline.
Okay, so hold on. Here's our zero line here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Zero
all the
line.
money's in the downward movement. I have a little divergence, but not much. But this is probably why these candles are small because all of the money is still in the downward movement. So the histogram will suggest that all the money here on this downward movement is still present.
Mhm.
So if I go to the momentum, which I'm going to, we have an upper movement, but it hasn't quite popped that 100 yet. Here, price is still below the EMA here. So it's still trending in a downward movement. But the stochastics in the sweet spot, and you can see the W here for the upper movement. Y'all see that?
Mhm. Yep.
All right. And then we have a flat line here on this signal for the upper movement, but it's trying to curl up. But it's still, looking at the RSI, it's still trending in a downward movement because it's red lines over the green. However, so technically I might have what here?
Diversion.
Yes. Very good. So so now that I know I have indecision here, and normally divergence is at structure. Price is at structure here. Okay. Let me put this trend line back. So I have a breaker structure, right? But price has a couple of things to get through here. Number one, it's got to get past this flat top candle. It's got to get past yesterday's high. And then it has to overcome the 4 hour and this line of consolidation. So the only way it's going to do that is with volume. There has to come some money has to come up here for the upper movement. So Nikki, when you're looking at this stuff and you're going like, oh my God, so how do I know when to get in? Well, questions 1A and 1B will let you know whether or not you have a potential entry. Now, there's a lot of things, of course, we have to recognize before we get in it. But question 1A and 1B in the order of operation will let you know whether or not you have an entry. Number one, do I have space? No. Do I have volume? No. So I don't have a trade. But I know it's promising because this is a prime value position for the upper movement. Derek, what does that mean? What that means is, let's take a look at it here. If I take my car to CarMax and I want to sell it, well, I don't want to sell it down here, right? I want to sell it up here and get all the money. Well, when I go in to walk into a dealership, I want to buy at the lowest price possible. Yes?
Yes.
So now I know if I need an upper movement, there's a lot of other things I need to have. But I'm keeping my eye on this. And everybody put GBP USD on your watch list. I'm keeping my eye on this because I'm waiting for price to break these areas. I can't take the trade now because there's too much opposition for the upper movement. But I do know one thing. If price breaks here and I take this trade, and let's say price just comes back to where this or where we mark this downward movement, right? And if I take price here, I know that I'm going to have at least $1.40 in pips. If I have a $10 lot size, that's $1,400. Y'all feel me on that? Is anybody going to say no to 1,400?
No, sir.
Not at
I'm
all.
not. Okay, so this is why we're putting it on the watch list. This is why you have to ask the questions. And ladies and gentlemen, you remember how we were learning how to spell and all that, and they say you had to sound it out because they wanted you to hear it. Well, you need to have these conversations out loud with yourself. Number one, where is price? Here's current price. 1A, do I have space? No. Do I have volume? No. Do I have a potential entry here for upper movement? Yes, but not right now. And there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Well, let's look at this in the downward movement. If price comes back here, I want price to cross this trend line on the downward movement. And that's why we're going to put a sell peak here. GBP USD EP for a sell peak is 1.30725. And again, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing we care about being bullish about, and that is crypto. Can I catch Bitcoin on a downward movement? I can. Can I catch Ethereum on the downward movement? Sure. But for our portfolios to increase, we need Bitcoin to be in a bullish market every chance it gets. But in this case, standard Forex pairs, gold, oil, silver, I don't care what direction they go in. Because in those cases, I am married to the pips, not the trend. I want to catch whatever the trend is, but I am not privy to, or I am not leaning toward one trend or another that I like the most. Y'all feel me on that?
Yes, sir.
But let's look at this entire chart here. Let's analyze the whole chart. This is Sunday night. The market is open open up for a new week. And I'm looking at this entire chart. And what thing sticks out to someone the most here? What thing sticks out to you?
Oh, the supply boxes at the top.
Yes, sir. Exactly. Very good. Because, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it's just about supply and demand. Right? So, where do I have the most space? Well, I have the most space between here and here. A potential 300 pips. Now, would this be considered a long-term trade? No. Why, Derek? Because I still have all this demand. Not as much as it is here, but I have this demand to consider. Someone else. What else? What else you see about this chart?
Well, it looks to me it's a lot of consolidation.
Well, you mean for the entire chart?
Yeah, from where you had the first line on the left up to the point where you got your trend line.
Here?
Yeah. So between there and the first line to the left.
Oh, from here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Here. Now, let's talk about this area that Steven's talking about here. What could you say about this? What could you say about it? It has a minor case of something. Minor.
I'm gonna say a minor case of ranging indecisive.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Which in turn tells me that there was a lot of fighting between buyers and sellers in this area. Yes? Because the money was just about equal. And if I put fractals out here, there's fractals out here chewing this thing up. And then, of course, in this particular case, in this battle, sellers came out ahead.
I'm sorry, I missed what he said. He said a minor case of what?
Ranging.
Ranging. Okay.
So, would you say that in this area, we have a similar situation? Not as much money, obviously, but would you say there's a similar situation?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. I think so. A little bit. I have consolidation here. In either case, I'm just waiting for a what?
Breakout.
That's all I care about. Breakout. Where is it going? Is it going to hit my alert? And if it is it going to take it back to here? I'm not worried about up here. Because if price comes up to here, I have, as far as a businessman, a woman, we got options here, yes?
Yes.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's my option?
When the alert goes off, you have an option to get into it for a buy. Or when it gets above those supply boxes, you also have space.
But what are my options? And I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about once price reaches here. What's my options here?
I'm gonna say to get into it for a buy because it's not gonna be in those supply boxes, and you're gonna have space
Well,
if you have
Bubba,
volume.
we're in here for a buy already. Remember, because price comes from here, waiting for the breakout. The alert hits here. We're taking it here to here. Once we're in the trade, right, and we come to this point, what
Is
options do
that
we
when
have?
we would get, will we
Say
get
that. Say
out
that again.
there? Will we get out of the trade right here?
We could. That's one option. We could do a market execution, leave, take our money, and go on about our business. That's one option. What's another option?
Stop.
Trailing
Trailing
stop.
Yeah.
Because, like Dimitri said, hey, there's space here. The question is, since price returned here, is it going to reject and come back the other way? Look here. What are we looking at right here? Looking at a what?
A W?
Uh-huh. Because price could come back here and reject and then come back up here again. Kim, that look familiar to you?
It does.
See, I don't know. I don't think she knows what I'm talking about. Maybe she does. So, Kim, when she came to this group, even though Kim had been trading for a while, Kim was new to the group, never talked. I saw her get on the class every night, never said a word. Well, we were looking at her favorite pair, Euro GBP. And this was a very similar thing. And Kim called a trade. So Euro GBP did this thing and then came back and was about to come back again. So when we got in class, I said, hey, Miss Kim, you did great. How much money did you make? Do y'all know what she said? What you think she said?
She didn't get into the trade.
She didn't get into the trade. Amazing, right? The great trader that she is right now today was in the same position that you guys are in right now. Not trusting what she saw, but Kim basically got her ass kicked for 3 years. So sometimes when you get beat down, sometimes you don't want to step out. But see, back then, we didn't have very good teachers when it came to trading. Now, I can't speak for Kim, but I'm just going to go on theory of what I think. I think that night changed something in her. She spoke that trade out. She was confident about the trade and didn't get in it. And she saw everybody else bragging about how much money they made. And I think it changed for her. There's a few of you that are new that are starting to see things. Hey, you know what, y'all? You're just going to have to get into a trade. You just gonna have to get into it so you can see what that feels like pressing buy or sell. And a couple of trades you might get smacked in the mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say something that I have not said to these new folks. I have said quite a few times over the years, so I'm gonna say it today. This is a contact sport. Everybody gets hit in the mouth. When you come to the conclusion that, hey, there's going to be some losses, some of those losses are going to be manageable. Like hitting a 15 pip stop loss and saying, hey, that's all I'm a risk. And then it hits your stop loss and you're good with it. But what if you get to a point, you make 50 trades and win 37? Would anybody take that? If I was just beginning, I'd take that. You're just gonna have to get in them. I liked what people were putting in the chat about their goals today. I was inspired, so I'll put some things in there for myself. I don't know anybody who got into trading that was an overnight success. And if anybody tells you that, they're freaking lying. They're lying. I'm not saying you should be getting in trades and losing 60% of them either. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you see something and you assess it and you think it's time for you to get in that trade based on the information, then get in it. Get in it. That's like me, who I'm going to be cooking Thanksgiving dinner this year, like I do every year. And then y'all come over and I make dinner for y'all and y'all say how good it is, which you would. And then I don't eat. But I watch all y'all eat. Part of that's rewarding because you enjoyed it, but the other part, you sitting there laying in bed that night, man, I wonder how that tasted. Now, that's a kind of a poor analogy considering that, if you're cooking, you're tasting all freaking night and day. Making sure everything is good and all. Here's what I would like. I know some of you have started funding accounts. That's great. I think it's wonderful. But I want you guys using 10-cent lot sizes for a while. Or until you get comfortable. But here's what I want you to do before you raise your lot sizes. I want you to get in and out of trades. I want you assessing trades. I want you to use the stop loss a couple of times. I want you to use the TP. And I also want you to modify a couple of trades here and there. Once you feel comfortable with that, then I want you to start raising your lot sizes. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
When you first, and Dimitri will witness this, when you first start riding a motorcycle, if you lean a bike to the right or to the left too low and you don't have proper balance, all the bikes get heavy. I don't care who you are. There's different degrees in where you feel the weight. But if you're riding a sport bike and it's 400 pounds, 500 pounds, it's still heavy if you don't know what you're doing. But you don't go up, you don't jump up to not knowing what you're doing with a 600-pound bike and jump on an 890-pound bike. You asking for the Grim Reaper to visit you early. Dimitri, I think it takes about 3 to 5 days to really get to learn how to balance the bike. I'm not talking about you're not a skilled rider at that point, because After a bike gets about 10 miles an hour, it really starts balancing itself.
Yeah, it's designed to stay upright, but yeah, all the thing, safety, clutch and brakes and stuff,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
takes a
all
couple
those
days.
things, that stuff takes time. But every new rider is always afraid of dropping it. And one of the things about riding a bike is the fact that, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to pavement. You got to pay attention to weather. You got to pay attention to stupid drivers. You got to obey the laws of physics. There's a lot of things you have to take in consideration, just like here. There's a lot of things you have to do before you press buy or sell. Number one is the order of operation. You need to get that down. Number one, locate price. Number two, ask yourself the question, do I have space? Do I have volume? 3, locate and identify support, resistance, and structure. Then consult your indicators. But as you consult your indicators, remember, price is king. I don't care what these indicators say, but if this dude ain't right, nothing's right. Y'all feel me on that?
Amen. Yes, sir.
Some of you right now are still questioning whether or not you can make money or not. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, that is a really stupid question. You got a sister on here that hadn't worked for anybody in 7 going on 8 years. What you think Kim over there doing? Supplementing her income, sending her children out to sell drugs for her? What do you think she doing? Does it work? I don't even think Kim would know how to get dressed to go to a job, let alone going to one. Kim, would you even know what to wear to a job now? I mean, shit.
Not anymore. I don't even wear them clothes anymore.
So the question of whether or not it works, if you make $1 in this thing, it works. The question is, all right, how can I get proficient to make $2? How do I get proficient to make $10? And so on. And I'm going to say it like I tell everybody else, and a lot of people have been trading for me a while, still not doing it, but you got to do it like I tell you how to do it. So, those of you who are funding accounts, fund them. I would like for you, with your enthusiasm and the way you've been studying, I would like for you to use 10-cent lot sizes for a while. That's going to vary between individuals as you get more confident. Then you can start using the growth chart. I think everybody is armed with that. And your lot size is going to depend on how much money you have in your account. And let me say something else that you guys use in your demo. If you're not using your demo in a responsible manner, however you practice, that's how you play. I've never seen anybody have a shitty practice and have a great game. I've never seen anybody do that. You have to be able to locate price. You have to be able to identify structure. You have to be able to identify when volume is increasing or decreasing. And you have to be a good steward. That means using proper risk management at all times. and be honest with yourself. If you know you about to get in a bad trade, I mean, I know in Psalms 91 it says, God will guide you in all your ways. But it's awful foolish when you know you're doing wrong and then you do it anyway. That actually, the word for that is stupidity. You guys, I don't think you realize the advantage that you have at this moment. You have two people who would probably be considered senior traders at a standard brokerage house, telling you how this stuff works. We don't profit whether you're successful or not. If you went out and in the next 90 days and became a millionaire, we would congratulate you. We would give you all the accolades, but we won't profit for that other than to say, hey, we are glad that they followed the information that we gave them and now they're free. Is it possible if you put $5,000 in your savings account tomorrow and 90 days from today, can you be a millionaire? Yes, but do you know what that takes? First of all, it takes a tremendous amount of patience and discipline and structure. Not only do you have to have structure in your trading, but you have to have structure in your lifestyle as a trader. What does that mean? That means I got to go to bed on time. That means I need to get in the gym so I can stay physically fit, physically and mentally. That means I need to leave the knucklehead stuff alone. That also means if I have a gig, I operate at my best. Why, Derek? Because that job is a partner that is helping fund your startup $1 million business. And it should be treated as an equal partner. And you should be rejoicing because every day you go to work, you are that much closer being free. Y'all feel me on that?
Man.
I'm not telling you about something I read. I'm telling you about what I know, what I lived. It was so funny, Kim. The more dedication I gave to my everyday gig, the better I got as a trader. It was incredible.
Yep.
If you're going to do this, then you got to map this thing out. I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to trade. At this time, I'm going to study. At this time, I'm going to look at and read news sources. I'm going to watch CNBC and if you watch Fox Business, then fine. If you watch CNBC, fine. But you have to get all those sources because a good trader sees what? Everything. You got to put in the time where you got to go to the gym. You got to eat right. Christy and Kim, and I don't know any others, so forgive me if I don't call your name, but they got kids. So not only do they have to be businesswomen, responsible businesswomen, they also have to be good moms. It's a lot for you ladies on here that have those responsibilities. I know it's heavy, but it's got to be done. And then you'll get to the point like Kim goes on vacation And she's sitting on there, poolside, watching her kids have fun, and she got her laptop in her hand and she trading. All that starts with this. Let's take a look at another real quick. Somebody call out a pair. Nobody has a pair they're looking at?
Get you, bitch, JPY. I was waiting for somebody else.
Or gold.
No, go with somebody else, whatever somebody else said.
Okay, I'll hit GBP, JPY, and then I'll hit gold. I heard somebody say gold. So all right. So right away, what's the first thing you notice about this?
Consolidated.
It's consolidating.
Okay, that's the first thing y'all see. Okay, somebody else.
I don't see any volume there.
Anybody
Call
else?
between structure.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that either. That's what I meant to do. God damn, y'all don't see this ranging? That's the first thing I see. Look how erratic price is. Remember, don't be blind to the obvious. I didn't ask you to assess the trade. I said, what's the first thing you see? Look at that. That's crazy.
True.
So the first thing and Carol, let me tell you why I said that. Because if I'm interested in this trade, Claudia, if I'm interested in this trade, I know I have to be careful. There's hidden structure everywhere here. You want me to show you? I'll show you. Right away, here's a flat bottom candle. All right? Here's another. Here's another. Here's a flat top. Then I got a bunch of price rejection here. 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 Oh, there's another flat bottom right here. Bang. Y'all feel me? So you
Yes,
know
sir.
what you know what I would say to this, Carol? Claudia, you know what I would say?
What?
I would say there is no freaking way that I am taking a trade on here between here and here. I'm going to set alerts. Here's a buy peak here. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. GBP JPY EP for a buy peak is 204.928. 204.928. And here's a sell peak here. GBP JPY EP for a sell peak is 200.249. 200.249. Bam. I'm done with this and I move on. Is there really any need for me to stare at this thing? right?
Nope.
I don't need to walk in the woods to wait for the bear to come out. I mean, I don't need to go in the woods to chase him. I'm just going to wait for him to come out. And when he comes out of all of this, I know one thing, no matter what direction it goes, I know one thing. That is this. Price has momentum wherever it goes because it had to fight through all of this crap. Y'all, sometimes trading is just about common sense. That's why I said the first thing I noticed, damn, there's a lot of range in here. There's no need for me to try to hunt through and try to see openings here. Y'all feel me on that?
Yes, sir.
There's no need to give yourself undue stress. Somebody once said, well, Derek, I know, trading, I know you're really stressful. No, I don't. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not stressed. There are certain people who try to fight through this. Those are the ones that get stressed. Y'all feel me on what I just said here?
Yes, sir. True statement.
I don't need to pass because GBP JPY is a formidable pair that you can make money on very quickly. But I'm not concerned about what GJ does in between here and here. She could jump around. She could run around here naked if she wants to. I don't care. But the moment she pops out of here, then I start to care. Y'all feel me? Because to get out of this, I'm going to need a lot of what?
A lot of momentum, a lot of money.
A lot of money. I want to see a bunch of candles look like this, and this, and this, and this. Going up or down, I don't care. Y'all feel me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kim, did you get your peaks?
Yeah, I got them. Thank you.
All right. And let's look at gold. So we put at the beginning, I gave you guys a buy peak. This is just a peak. This is just a peak. The only way I would get serious about this, listen to me, the only way I would get serious about this pair is if, look at this flat bottom candle right here, and this week one disappeared. That's the only way I'm going to get serious about it. Because why? Well, why, Derek? Because I only trade gold in space. And that's the reason why when I give you a signal or I give you a peak, a buy peak or a sell peak for gold, baby, you better color it in and get ready. You got a favorite little shiny something you want to buy, you going to be able to buy it whenever what's the last gold alert I gave? How many pips was it?
A lot.
It was over 500, wasn't it?
I think it was. It was a lot. I have to look back in my book. Yeah, it was a lot.
And this is for Christy. Take a look at silver.
Thank you.
This looks wide open, right? Someone's probably thinking, look at that. All of a sudden, look at that. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just popped up there.
Just popped up here. So now, all of a sudden, this don't look so attractive, right? If you trade, and I don't trade silver that much, but your same premise of gold should be on silver. Now, Christy, because she has figured out the movements of silver only because it's one of the things, that's her thing. So she probably sees more opportunity in silver than a lot of folks. But there's a couple of things you got to look at here. Number one, this is a very interesting area of structure. Why is it interesting?
Yeah, flat bottom and flat top candles,
Yeah.
both right there.
Mm-hmm. So here, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and mark the foot. So I have a concentrated area of structure here. And this is what we talked about when we talked about, God dang it. I had a term and I lost it. But this is a serious level of structure here. Okay? And the reason why is what Greg just said. Here's another flat bottom. Here's a flat bottom. And here's a flat top. This is a serious area of structure. But not only that. 1, 2, 3, 4 periods. That's 16 hours of price rejection in the same area. Y'all feel me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is why you have to understand and recognize levels of structure. If you get in the indices, gold, silver, crypto, and if you remove this, you're thinking, damn, I could go all the way up here. And forget this. This little rejection right here could cost you hundreds of dollars in those instruments of trade. Y'all feel me on that? So
Yes, sir.
here's my buy peak for silver. All right, here's silver here, buy peak here at 54.844. 54.844. 54.844. And Christy, this is not going anywhere anytime soon because this marker just popped up here.
Yes, sir.
So that means that there is a high level of concentrated selling going on here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and give you a sell peak here for silver. And that's 45.241. 45.241. Now, Christy, if the market tells you can get in here, I would probably set a TP in here somewhere, only because if silver drops here, it's going to drop fast.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask the question again tomorrow at Market Watch, what I asked the other day, and that is, Derek, if I had a better understanding of blank, I think I would be a better trader. And the reason why I want to wait till Monday is because I want you guys to have another day of trading. I want you to have another day of experience. You know what the one cool thing about trading is? Every day is not the same. Is it, Kim?
Got
No,
that
it's
right.
not. No, it's not.
Every day is different. It's
Yeah.
like a snowflake. Now you can have a good run, hey, I got another 200 pips today, but it wasn't the same as the 200 pips you got before. The result might be the same, but the journey is not the same. Everybody ready to start that week?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Let's make this week better than last week. Not that you had a bad week, but let's just be better than we were last week. How about that?
Sounds great.
That will be done.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys need to brush up on Black Futures because we're having a night owl Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Sure hope y'all bought that book.
You mean Black Fortunes?
Black Fortunes, I'm sorry. Black Fortunes. Sure hope y'all bought that book. Saturday night, 10 o'clock. But then why is he so late? Night owl, hence the name. I remember the first time I said that, Miss Connie laughed her ass off. I sure miss her. I will tell you this. Miss Connie would be proud of all the sisters that are in this group right now. She sure would.
Yes, she would.
Y'all, we get ready to turn the corner into 2026. I was talking to a guy, a brother, who has been in a stockbroker since 1984. And he believes a serious recession is coming next year. Now, I told him I agree that there's going to be economic downturn, but I don't think it's for economic reasons. I think the economic reasons will be the result of the ridiculous stance that our government is taking on several different absolutely idiotic, stupid things. As business people, you know what you are right now? You are the managers or of a private digital equity firm. That's what you are. That's exactly what you are. And your responsibility is to understand why the United States is getting ready to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You need to know why. And manage your funds accordingly.
And Derek,
Yes.
you want somebody to remind you about a phone call from yesterday you were talking about. Right. You remember?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, everybody knows I love Harley Davidson. I really do. Harley Davidson has a line of bikes called CVOs. Well, back in 2020, they made a CVO for the first time for a trike. There's one legendary color that Harley Davidson has. It's called Legendary Orange. And it has a big black stripe on it. It's just beautiful. Well, there is a motorcycle Harley Davidson shop in a place just outside of Camp Pendleton in San Diego. I had told Kim, hey, and as a matter of fact, I think I showed her on the screen. We were on the Zoom one night, and I showed her, and I said, this bike is a 2021, and it only has 386 miles on it. Who knows why it has so many low miles? It's close to a military base. Maybe somebody got orders. Maybe they had to sell it. They couldn't take it with them. I don't know. It's possible. Or heaven forbid, something else worse happened, right? I tried to call this dealership, I don't know how many times, but I've been looking at this bike for 3 months. So they dropped the price from $41,900 because this bike, brand new, is like $54,000. So they dropped the price from $41,900 to $38,000 and change. So I said, I'm going to make the phone call one more time. I called it, and I noticed the website had changed, and it looked like they changed owners. So that's what the salesperson told me. Hey, I'm sorry about that. You know, that we changed owners, so we were kind of closed. And I said, no, y'all wasn't kind of closed. Y'all were closed because nobody was answering the phone. So in the pictures, it showed like what would look like bug spray or rock chips. I couldn't really tell. I told the guy, hey, send me a picture, some pictures of this so I could see. So here I am getting geared up because I really wanted this bike. Because the CVOs, they have more horsepower, and there's certain details you don't have to customize this bike anymore. I mean, it comes out of the box fine. So then the guy is pushing me along about buying the thing. So I said, well, send me the numbers and all that. So he sends me the numbers, and I noticed, I said, hey, do y'all have California tax in here? He said, yes, we do. I said, well, y'all need to take the sales tax off because I'm not going to register the bike in California. I'm going to register it here in Texas. Well, we still have to collect taxes. I said, not if I'm paying cash. I said, listen, bro, let me help you out. I sold cars for 30 years. I know how this works. Let's not get into a tizzy over this. But if you don't believe me, talk to your title clerk, and she'll tell you the same thing. Well, then he comes back, he says, well, if you plan on driving it out of California, we have to charge you tax in order to give you a tag, which was fucking stupid still. I don't live in California. I'm not registering the car there. Now, there might have been some small validity to that, but that wasn't the issue. Sisters, listen to me what I'm about to tell you. So I go back, and they had changed the price back to $41,900, and they took the bike off of the Harley Davidson marketplace. So when they have certified pre-owned vehicles, they put them on the Harley Davidson marketplace or used, but they put them on. Well, they had taken it off. They had to take it off because Harley Davidson wasn't going to let them raise the price once they posted it, so they just removed it. So right there, they are telling you how they want to do business with you. Yo, people who know me here, Kim, you know, if I'd have got down to California to pick that bike up, and it wasn't what we agreed to, it was going to be some shit in the city. Because my Agent Orange would have acted up, and y'all to see me on the news. What did Derek do down there? Yeah. So I called them or they called me, I can't remember. And I said, man, I don't think I can do business with y'all. And he said, why? I told him the story. Well, where did you see it? I said, hey, man, don't talk to me like I'm some stupid ass customer. Don't do that. I'm telling you what I saw. Dude, I've been looking at this bike for 3 months. I know what I saw. He said, well, what if we could get it back to, I said, Kim, the best thing he could have told me, Mr. Taylor, I'm so sorry. Let me go talk to my boss and try to straighten this out. I'll call you back. That would have given me some chance to calm down and all that. But he was, and then I said, I'll tell you what, you call me back at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to change my mind, but you let me sleep on it. So they called me a couple of times. I didn't answer. And then that phone call y'all heard the other night, that's what that phone call was for. They were trying to get a hold of me. And I said, hey, y'all remind me of this phone call. And I'll tell you about it on Sunday. So that was the call. Incredible. Incredible. That's like thinking you're going to get rich off of one trade. So you tried to dog me out of $3,000 at least, and you still don't sell it. At least you don't sell it to me. Lord. Lord, people. I'm going to show y'all this bike. Oh, class is over. Let me, before we get all into this, and I don't want to keep anybody, I know it's Sunday night and it's late. So if y'all got to go ahead and go. But I just want to show you. Demetri, I want to show you this. If it even, now I can't even get into the site now. But never mind. It's just spinning. Anyway, anybody have any questions as you go off and y'all? I want y'all to try to find. Right, I want you guys to try to find a trade, and I want y'all to do your best to try to get into the trade, because I want to hear some of y'all's adventures. I don't want to say issues, but if we need to talk about some things on Monday night, I want these things to come out. And y'all, please, Kim and I both have been where you guys are sitting. Okay? There's not going to be anything new that you guys bring up that we hadn't already heard. You're welcome, Claudia. You're just not. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Let's see.
I was about to ask if he was still there.
No, because just stay on here. I mean, if you need to go, you could. Like I said, if you guys need to go, go ahead and go. But I want to show if Demetrius still on here. I want to show him this. If it's still on here, I think they took it off. That just really upset me. As a professional salesperson, I just don't think, I don't know why. And y'all probably already know this, but I'm gonna say this. If you have anybody disrespecting you, don't put up with that crap. Just leave. Just leave. Let's see if they put it back on here. The bike looks like this. Like this one. But this is in Texas. And the miles were too high for me. So no, they took it off. They didn't put it back on. They didn't put it back.
There's some nice looking bikes.
They didn't put it back. But it was just like this one. But it was a 21 and it only had 386 miles on it. So, anyway. And then sometimes, when you do business like that, you don't know who you're talking to. So here I am telling y'all about this bad experience, right? And now they don't know that what if you are talking to someone, hey, I want to go down here to this place. My friend said, you don't know. Look here, Dr. Price.
She gone.
Oh, is she?
It's not on.
Let's see before we get off. Let me see if there's one trade in here that I can get in.
You still see bikes.
Huh?
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Let's look at Euro NZD. Again, if you need to go ahead. I'm just out here looking. I don't have a class until 10 o'clock. Look at this. This is really interesting. I'm going to do a buy peak here for Euro NZD. Euro NZD EP for a buy peak is 2.03578. I'm going to do a sell peak here. Euro NZD EP for a sell peak is 1.99759. 1.99759. There was some peak activity when we got off the price action class yesterday at Euro, but it died down. If it was increasing, I was going to put a voice note in the chat, but it didn't. We got a potential primary value position here. I'm going to go ahead and do a buy peak here. Euro USD EP for a buy peak is 1.16217. 1.16217. And we're going to do a sell peak here. At 1.14951. 1.14951. I'm looking at this. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Keep my eye on this one. Put this on my list. This Euro USD. And we'll look at AJ. AJ is consolidating right now. Ooh, Kim. Ooh. I'll be looking at AJ tomorrow, girl. I'll be looking at AJ tomorrow. AUD JPY EP for a sell peak is 99.234. 99.234. Let me look at the upward movement here. Yeah, we're going to do a buy peak up here too. AUD JPY EP for a buy peak is 102.841. 102.841. And might as well look at AUD USD if I'm looking at AJ. I got a signal for AU here. AUD USD EP for a sell is 0.65202. 0.65202. And TP is going to be 0.64864. 0.64864. $0.64864. This is a very weak after party. We tell people all the time, hey, if I don't get off, you don't get off. Because I am probably sticking around to do exactly what I am doing right now. Let's look at GBP AUD. I got a signal for GA. Is Richard on here?
Yes, sir.
Watch this for a second.
Okay.
All right, so this is the EP for GA 2.03932, and the TP is going to be 2.05523. 2.05523. Reason why I wanted you to see this is because see this consolidation here?
Yes, sir. Got it.
This has a potential to pop here. Well, Derek, why would you even say a thing like that? Well, let me tell you. What don't you see between here and here?
No
No
structure, no
resistance,
resistance.
Me.
no
Nothing.
support lines, nowhere.
Nothing but space.
Nothing but space. Ooh, Kim, I wish she would. I wish she would. Oh, I wish she would. So, I'm taking a full lot, right? From here to here. Well, hold on. I don't want to give you any bad poop. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. If I'm going to the moving average, what moving average do you think I'm looking for? Anybody?
50.
Anybody else?
200.
Why am I looking at the 200, Mom?
Because that's going to let you know if it's overperforming.
That's my baby. So, Richard, I'm still good here for a full lot. Right?
Okay. Even
All
though.
right. All right. Now,
Maybe-
here's the thing.
Okay.
Remember our lesson when I said, when you see another flat top or flat bottom, you could probably open another position. Yeah? Remember?
Yes.
Okay. So if price reaches here, and y'all make a note of this, 2.05109, and in the note I would put here, possible second position. Possible second position. But if price reaches here and you do that second position, price is overperforming, this is the place where you take that half lot. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
This has nothing to do with your EP. This is just the point in which price is overperforming. Now, you're going to take a half lot anyway if you would open up an original position here. But because our values are skewed because of the narrow zone here, right? This is going to be the place where this is going to be the place where we take that half lot at this point. And this is why I say you got to be, it's a lot faster to do it on your phone. As opposed to fooling around with, whatever works for you. I just think that you become a more nimble individual if you're able to do all this stuff on your phone. And that's a time for another, that's a subject for another time, another place. But AJ and GBP-AUD. Ooh, come on, give it to me, girl. Give it to me. Let's start this week off right. All right, y'all. That's it for real. I got to get moving, get ready for my next class. Y'all have a wonderful night and make it a blue day tomorrow. And I will see y'all at 8 o'clock.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Good
evening.
night.
All right.